What's up guys, today's video is on the top 10 best gaming mouse to date. Through extensive research and testing I've put together a list of options that will meet the needs of different types of buyers. We have considered their product quality, features, and values when narrowing down the top choices possible. If you want more information and update pricing on the products mentioned, check these links in the description box below. Number 1. Razer DeathAdder V2. The Razer DeathAdder V2 is the latest in a long line of Razer DeathAdder mice. The very first DeathAdder came out in 2006, and since then, it's sold more than 10 million units. The reason behind the mouse's ongoing popularity is simple: it's a very, very good mouse. The DeathAdder V2 features a comfortable grip, plenty of programmable buttons, customizable RGB lighting and excellent performance across a variety of genres. There's almost nothing working against the DeathAdder V2, save for a sometimes recalcitrant software suite, and the fact that other mice offer a lot more bells and whistles. On the other hand, if you want something that's both straightforward and full-featured, the DeathAdder V2 is one of the very best gaming mice on the market. If you want something smaller, there's also the Razer DeathAdder V2 Mini to consider. Consider also the Razer DeathAdder V2 Pro, which is a wireless version of the beloved mouse. Razer Viper Ultimate is another wireless mouse to consider. Number 2. Corsair Harpoon RGB Wireless. The Corsair Harpoon RGB Wireless is perhaps the best gaming mouse if you're looking for an inexpensive wireless mouse from a major manufacturer. For $50, you still get a whole lot of functionality. This mouse features an ergonomic design with textured grips, a deep software suite and flawless wireless functionality. You get a powerful, high DPI sensor, functional RGB lighting and 2 programmable, convenient thumb buttons. It's a straightforward mouse, but it's a surprisingly good one, especially considering that it costs about $100 less than most wireless mice. Another useful feature of the Harpoon RGB Wireless is that it offers Bluetooth functionality, so you can use it with tablets, smartphones and streaming devices, or with a computer, if you don't feel like hooking up a USB dongle. With all the lights turned off and the mouse in Bluetooth mode, you can get up to 60 hours of battery life. Even with all the bells and whistles powered up, the mouse can last for a few days of heavy gaming, and you can recharge via USB while you play. Number 3. Razer Basilisk V3. The Razer Basilisk V3 improves on the Razer Basilisk V2's great design, adding a better sensor and better gliding feet. This time around, there's also a creative new feature, a scroll wheel that automatically adjusts, depending on whether you're making minute motions in a game, or scrolling through hundreds of rows in a spreadsheet. The Basilisk V3 is especially helpful for FPS players who need to aim precisely, but it's also a perfectly good all-purpose gaming mouse. My only real issue with the Basilisk V3 is that I miss the less conventional paddle design from the previous model. Otherwise, bear in mind that the Razer Synapse software is robust, although it may take a few days to learn all of the options at your disposal. Number 4. Razer Naga Trinity. The Razer Naga Trinity is arguably the best gaming mouse for MMOs. But thanks to its unique design, it can also be the best gaming mouse for MOBAs, or even action/adventure games. Rather than being stuck with a single style of thumb buttons, the Naga Trinity offers 3 swappable panels, one with 2 buttons, one with 7 buttons in a hex pattern, really, hept, but let's not split hairs, and one with a whopping 12 buttons. The 12-button configuration is incredibly useful for World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV and other MMO favorites, but the other 2 side panels ensure that you can use the Naga Trinity with just about any genre and still excel. It's a large, heavy mouse, which is good for players with large hands, and the side panels are effortless to swap in and out. If you'd prefer a wireless model, consider the similarly excellent Razer Naga Pro instead. Number 5. HyperX Pulsefire Core. The HyperX Pulsefire core is one of those what you see is what you get gaming mice. It's a simple, inexpensive device with 2 thumb buttons, 2 extra face buttons, and not much else. You can program the device with the HyperX Ingenuity software, and you can even adjust a small RGB HyperX logo on the palm rest. But aside from that, the Pulsefire core is a no-frills gaming mouse, and that's why it excels. Without any fancy bells and whistles to bog it down, you can simply plug the Pulsefire core into your computer and use it, no learning curve or fancy programming required. It works well across a wide variety of game genres, from RTS to MMO. At less than $30, it's one of the cheapest peripherals you can get from a major manufacturer, but it doesn't skimp on quality. Number 6. Razer Orochi V2. The Razer Orochi V2 is the latest in a long line of excellent laptop-focused gaming mice from Razer. This compact mouse features 2 wireless modes, 2.4 GHz and Bluetooth, as well as 6 programmable buttons, a max DPI of 18,000 and full compatibility with the sensible Razer Synapse software. It's easy to use and easy to transport, and it's an excellent accessory for both productivity and gaming. The Orochi V2 admittedly lacks some of the features we like in Razer's more premium mice. There's no rechargeable battery, so you'll be reliant on wasteful AA batteries instead. You also won't get pretty RGB lighting. On the other hand, you will get hundreds of hours of battery life, at least in Bluetooth mode, so perhaps it's a worthwhile trade-off. Number 7. Roccat Burst Pro Air. The Roccat Burst Pro Air is a much better wireless gaming mouse than you'd usually get for less than $100. This peripheral is small, lightweight, and colorful, and we don't use colorful lightly. Unlike most RGB gaming mice, which offer you a few small lighting zones and call it a day, the Burst Pro Air boasts beautiful illuminated hexagons all across its face. This means that you can actually see the mouse's RGB patterns while you're using the device. Even if it didn't look pretty, though, the Burst Pro Air would still be an excellent device, thanks to solid in-game performance and a few dozen hours of battery life. If you turn the lighting off, you could get up to 100 hours, but we wouldn't necessarily recommend that. The Burst Pro Air also works via both USB dongle and Bluetooth, so you can connect it to a variety of different devices. It's an especially good choice for gaming laptop owners who need something small for travel purposes. Number 8. Corsair Sabre RGB Pro Wireless. The Corsair Sabre RGB Pro Wireless, as you might imagine from its name, is a wireless variant of an all-purpose Corsair mouse. Like its wired counterpart, the Sabre RGB Pro Wireless is an excellent peripheral, offering a comfortable grip, smart button placement and an excellent software suite. With both USB and Bluetooth connectivity, it can connect easily to almost any PC. While the Sabre RGB Pro Wireless is much more expensive than the wired model, there aren't any significant drawbacks to speak of. Textured grips would have been nice, otherwise, the Sabre RGB Pro Wireless is simply a well-designed mouse that plays well with just about any PC game. Number 9. Logitech G203 Lightsync. If you find the Logitech G203 Lightsync familiar, you're not the only one. This mouse may be tipped as a fairly recent arrival, but it is almost functionally identical to the G203 prodigy that preceded it. The G203 Lightsync is a wired mouse, it's light speed that you're looking for if you're after a wireless rodent. The 3 titular lighting zones all lie within the thin strip that spans the rear palm rest, with the logo above taking the same color as the middle RGB lighting zone. While it might have been nice to have independent control of the logo itself, the option does allow for gorgeous tricolor gradient effects sweeping from one side of the mouse to the other. Pair this with the G203 Lightsync's slightly tweaked white and gray option, as opposed to the white and black option previously available with the Prodigy, and you're onto something quite stunning for $40. Number 10. Razer Naga Pro. The Razer Naga Trinity has been on our best gaming mouse list as the top recommendation for MMO/MOBA games for years now, but there's a new kid in town, the Razer Naga Pro. The Naga Pro drops the cable for Razer hyperspeed wireless and Bluetooth connectivity. It also picks up optical mouse switches and the over-the-top 20,000 dpi sensor. The overall design of Naga Pro stays close to the Trinity but has gained a bit of weight to accommodate the new tech. The Naga Pro is 7mm wider and heavier than the Trinity at 117 grams, but thanks to the 100% PTFE feet, it glides smoothly across most surfaces. The bigger mouse also takes some getting used to, requiring my long hands to adopt a full palm grip. But the contoured mouse buttons and a rest for my ring finger make it easier to hold onto. Textured rubber grips for the thumb and pinky also help. I'm a fan of Razer's optical mechanical switches, which use light to register clicks instead of mechanics, and that makes them really fast. The switches are durable too, with a lifespan of 70 million clicks, but of course, the Naga Pro has plenty of other buttons too. The 3 swappable plates have 2, 6, and 12 buttons which you can remap to your heart's content. Number 11. SteelSeries Prime Wireless Pro. The Prime Wireless immediately felt like it was designed just for my particular hand. SteelSeries says they worked with several esports pros to develop the right shape and weight that feels like an extension of your arm. For once, the product lives up to the hype. The Prime Wireless is designed for right-handers, particularly claw and fingertip grippers. The whole mouse seems to gently slope towards the right so that it cradles in your palm for a comfortable grip. The body is made from a micro-textured ABS plastic which has a matte finish that feels simultaneously slick and yet grippy. At 80 grams, it's slightly heavier than the Viper Ultimate, but it's hardly what you'd call heavy. The thumb well curves inwards while the mouse buttons rise higher towards your index finger and taper off under your middle finger. This subtle slope makes the buttons feel somehow easier to click. The thumb buttons are positioned slightly above where your thumb rests so there's barely any travel to reach them. I do wish they were slightly more forward so I don't have to crook my thumb so much in order to press the rear button, but I can live with it. The Prime Wireless has a built-in rechargeable battery that's rated for 100 hours per charge. That's over a week of average use. Number 12. SteelSeries Sensei 310. The updated version of this SteelSeries mainstay, the Sensei 310, subtly reinvented a classic mouse. It needed it. Almost everything has seen an improvement except the Sensei's ambidextrous shape, and that's precisely how it should be. While this mouse is a couple years old now, it's still a great go-to for fast-paced gaming. It's often found pretty cheap due to its age, too. Thanks to a new plastic shell, the Sensei is grippier and can shrug off a sweaty palm. SteelSeries uses its custom version of one of the best gaming sensors around, which it calls TrueMove 3, ensuring the Sensei 310 won't suffer any tracking issues. It's capable of 12,000 dpi, and 350 IPS. That's a bit less than some newer mice on this list, but still plenty of performance for most gamers. The Sensei 310 fits in your hand just like the old Sensei and is an excellent shape for either left or right-handed gamers looking for a mid-sized ambidextrous mouse. The size and shape of the thumb buttons have also been tweaked, making it easy to rock your thumb upwards to press them but keeping them out of the way of accidental pinky clicks. Anyone looking for a small, light, or ambidextrous mouse, this should be your first stop. Thank you for watching this video and don't forget to subscribe us to get more information and update product review videos.